there's a lot of people that when they work at a radio station and they get fired and they never get another job, they always call you angry and want to talk about that. But I was blessed. God always has my hand. God is driving me every single day of my life. And when I say God, it doesn't matter what your God is. Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, God, Jah, whatever it is, the higher power is driving.
Over.
So I was blessed to have that situation. The one thing I will tell you is that when you leave a comfortable situation like that, it challenges you as a person, because now you have to kill your food and eat it. You're not getting a check at the end of the week. So
out your comfort zone.
Yep. So the one thing that it taught me is to fight every day.
If there's anybody else that we need doing the sound check, this is the perfect one.
What?
That's it. Welcome
Thank you.
to the episode, and welcome to Dubai. This is not your first time in Dubai.
Nah, man. I have a monthly residency with 5 Palm Jumeirah.
Okay.
Shout out to my man Kabir, Loki, all those dudes over there. They hired me to come like every month or every 5 weeks. So I'm here. I'm here all the time.
I want to ask you a question. Something that I found like crazy. Be faithful.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it took 2 years.
You heard it what?
It took 2 years to get the rights.
Yes, it did. And it actually came. Yeah, it actually came out on Def Jam in the UK.
Yeah.
Shout out to DJ Semtex.
Yes, Semtex.
You have to understand something. When we made those records, myself and Crooklyn Clan, shout out to Crooklyn Clan, we they're samples. So it's a bootleg record. We're just putting it out there. And, at the time, I used to work for Hot 97. So my form of clearance was going to Puff for Love Like This Before and saying, yo, Puff, can I use it? Yeah, sure. Going to Buster and saying, yo, can I use it? Yeah, Scoop, don't worry about it. There was no real clearance with it, right? So,
and it was pressed on vinyl, too.
Yeah, it was pressed on vinyl. So by the time they really got ready to do it, they had to contact 48 publishers.
Wow.
So imagine putting 48 people in a room and getting them to agree. It's hard.
Getting 48 people in the room on time is hard enough, let alone getting them to agree
on
something as big as that
crazy,
as well.
Man, yeah.
For someone else to make money as well.
100%.
Not for them to make money, but for someone else to make money.
100%.
That's a mad one.
So Scoop, you saying that a lot of your business, the majority of your business overseas, and you have a base in the UK.
Well, I don't have an actual place in the UK. I'm actually thinking about it now because it's been so many years. So I've been going overseas every week for maybe about 48, 49 weeks a year since 1998.
Wow, those air miles. If anyone needs any
flight tickets, I'm at like 38 million.
Wow.
I think like 38 or 40 million. Just the new account that I got with United, I'm at 2 million. Like, cause I do, and that was just this year. Like I fly like that. So every week I go back and forth to London, and then I'll go wherever I'm gonna go and do whatever shows I'm gonna do that week. And then I come back and go back home.
That's crazy. I remember the show Chances as well from the UK.
Yeah, Chances, yeah. Phobia, my man Bronze, all them dudes. Yeah, shout to my guys from Chances. That was a big show for me, man. It was like they've copied that show on MTV in the USA. But it was a good show. And I still talk to Bronze from time to time, so that's a good one, man.
That's a good one.
Now you got the iconic voice, everybody knows, right? And that kills parties when you're live, obviously. But how do you feel, like, how do you embrace getting, because I seen you get behind the decks, like you're behind the decks now.
Yeah.
I mean, not now, but you've been behind the decks too. That dynamic, so a lot of DJs, they'll DJ well, but they not nice with the mic.
Right.
You're very well known for the mic.
Right.
So how do you also balance that with being on the deck?
Okay, so here's the deal. I was always a mic guy only.
Right.
So I would go to the club and I was paid to host.
Yeah.
But then I started to realize if the DJ is terrible, then I'm terrible. I happened to be walking out a club, I think it was in Croydon, and it was a young white woman in front of me, and she said, Fatman Scoop was rubbish tonight. And
Spot on, bro.
because and I said, wait up, hold on. I'm living and dying with whoever's on that turntable.
Right.
So I made up in my mind, I said, listen, if I'm gonna die, then I'm gonna die
Because
making
me.
my own
Yeah.
decisions. And I started to DJ and stuff like that, and it took me a minute. Actually, Sujit from Scam Artists, a big DJ agency.
Yeah, shout out to Sujit.
Shout out to Sujit. He had brought me on, but I wasn't ready yet. So I was still fearful. I would go and then act like something was wrong with the equipment and go back to my natural,
Right.
comfortable place. And I wound up, when it really stuck for me, is when I realized DJing is like doing a show. So up, down, here, lead them here, switch it up, go over there, do this, do that. When I realized that DJing was like doing a show, it all clicked in my head. And then I just started doing what I'm doing. And then I had to understand how to read crowds and stuff like that. But for me, usually I will do what I want. And I will will you to like what I like. And I think that's one thing about people on the mic is that they don't do it with any confidence.
there's no
Like,
conviction.
listen, my name is Fatman Scoop. You're going to rock with me right now. I do have an advantage because I'm already known for my voice, but confidence don't cost nothing.
Yeah.
You have to go in there and enforce your will on the people.
Do you know one thing that I'm going to say, which I find absolutely insane? And this is the first time I've ever experienced it. From your music, I know your voice. But your cadence is exactly the same when we're talking now.
Everybody says that,
It's
man.
exactly the same. So while you're talking, I'm just...
When
I just see it as
you know what's so funny
I know,
about
right?
it? It's like,
it's no different.
I thought that when I talk, nobody would recognize it, but it's like, even just talking,
It's the same
people
now,
recognize.
that's what I'm
So I'd be
saying.
like, listen, man, I need a water, and can you give me an eggplant parmesan with 2 pieces of, and people will be like, oh man, it's you. So I guess I don't look at it that way, and my kids don't look at it that way, but everybody else looks at
No,
it
but
that
the energy, it's like, this is what I'm saying, what I've never experienced before. I've seen people's energy when they're performing.
Right.
And their energy when they're talking to you is like, But your energy is like that when you're talking normally. It's the same thing. And,
Well,
I'm like,
he's
is he
himself.
doing this on purpose? Like,
Nah,
is
nah,
he-
nah,
that's
nah.
What, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's trying, because for me to be like that, I have to really kind of change my
5
vibe.
Red Bulls,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I'm on 3 already, so
Nah,
you can
man.
see how I am.
You know what it is, man? It's just when you are who you are, it is what it is. I never expected to be this person.
Yeah.
So when I mean I never expected to be this person, I was a rapper first. So I was signed to Teddy Riley as a rapper, and then I was gonna go sign with Puff and be the original Notorious B.I.G. I used to rap.
Yeah.
I was taught by Dougie Fresh. If anybody doesn't know who
Shout out
Dougie
Dougie
Fresh
Fresh.
is,
Then leave.
Dougie Fresh, yes, is the world's greatest entertainer. My day-to-day mentor was DJ Chill Will. So I rapped hard, but I had all of the stage presence and all the dancing from Dougie. It didn't make no sense. It didn't work. Anyway, whatever happened, I went into the music business, and I got disenfranchised with the business. I went into the music business and wound up working for a record label called Tommy Boy. And I promoted Naughty by Nature, House of Pain, De La Soul, made their records hits. One day, my younger brother, Kendall, a.k.a. Young
Young
Sav,
Sav.
some people may know him. Shout to Young Sav, my little brother. I love you dearly, you know that. He needed to go to Hampton University. My family had money, but we didn't have $50,000 a year money. So I went back to my default. I said, I heard DJ Cool to let me clear my throat. I was like, I could do that. I know how to do crowd participation from Dougie. Let me do that. And I did a record. When I tell you that record is the worst record in existence, it's the most terrible record. I wish I had that record so I could show you how bad it was, me trying to copy DJ Kool. And then I ran into the Crooklyn Clan. So DJ Riz was a very influential Shout out to Riz. He was a very influential DJ in New York when I was a record promoter. And Flex, I was driving in to the radio show at Hot 97 because I used to work after Flex. And he was playing a record called New York is in the House. And it said Fatman Scoop. It said, what I'm saying, Fatman.
New York in the house now.
DJ Scissor Hands, Crooklyn Clan, DJ Wiz, Crooklyn Clan. And I came in and I said, who's DJ Wiz? He said, you know who that is? That's Riz. I called Riz up. I went to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, or I think Canarsie, Brooklyn. I met the Crooklyn Clan that day. The next day we made our first record, Hands Up, which is a classic.
Now, by the way, I met you as a rapper. You gave me your album on a cassette.
I did?
Yes.
Wow.
Holy
I
shit.
wish I still had it. It was a conference in Palisades by the Meadowlands.
Okay.
I went there for a conference to learn music shit.
Yeah.
And I met you and you're like, I'm Fat Man. I was like, I know who you are, man. I already know. I'm a nerd. I know.
Yeah,
who you
but
are.
here's the thing. I believe you always have to introduce yourself.
Right.
Until somebody actually 100% know you, you gotta introduce yourself.
Right.
Listen, I don't see Lupe Fiasco every day. When I go up to him, I'm gonna say, yo, what's up, man? Fatman Scoop.
Yeah.
Unless he come to me and say, oh, yeah, then it's cool. I never expect for someone to know me. I always take it that I have to introduce myself.
If you speak,
Vertical,
they're gonna know
brother.
you. If you speak, they're gonna know
Vertical,
you.
brother.
You've been
Raj, vertical.
You've been able to pivot a lot. So it came from the rapping, like you said. You went into the promo game. What?
The music.
Wait, hold on. Are they doing that? Are they doing that because I'm here?
No,
or?
do it in key. Continue, bro. Let's get both of them.
You know something? That is, where's that coming from?
The speaker of
The speaker of soul.
of soul.
But they know.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
So
what I was asking is what I'm saying is that you've been able to pivot from rapper to record promoter to being on the radio to making party records. But for me, as being in New York, you were like at some point you were synonymous with Hot 97.
Yes.
I was like, Fatman Scoop is Hot 97, and vice versa. When you left Hot 97, that was another pivot for you. How did you maneuver that? Because that was a major pivot, I feel like.
Okay, so I wound up the way that happened is I was on the radio. I had a television show with my ex-wife Shonda called Man in White.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some things happened with me and management, and I wound up being released. But Hot 97 still kept me because they didn't know if the show was going to be a success.
Right.
When something happened with the show and we had to leave, that's when it got crazy. So when you're on the radio and your life is every day in front of people, you get addicted to it like a drug.
Right.
And when you have to leave that, it can be a very painful process.
Right.
Lucky for me, I still was Fatman Scoop. So the pivot was not, what am I going to do now? And my identity is all caught up in Hot 97. I was lucky because I was Fatman Scoop. So my identity was Fatman Scoop. I just went to the road and started doing shows. And instead of going to the radio, I do shows.
And you had the records under your belt already.
I had records under my belt, so I was able to move. There's a lot of people that when they work at a radio station and they get fired and they never get another job, they always call you angry and want to talk about that. But I was blessed. God always has my hand. God is driving me every single day of my life. And when I say God, it doesn't matter what your God is. Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, God, Jah, whatever it is, the higher power is driving.
Over. Yeah.
So I was blessed to have that situation. The one thing I will tell you is that when you leave a comfortable situation like that, it challenges you as a person, because now you have to kill your food and eat it. You're not getting a check at the end of the week. So
Out your comfort zone.
Yep. So the one thing that it taught me is to fight every day. So I noticed that when certain people that are entrepreneurs, when they walk into a situation, they handle it differently than a person who has a 9-to-5. That person is like, listen, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it my way, whether I crash or burn, because guess what? I'm used to being out here.
Yeah.
But when you get comfortable and you're used to that check, it will kill you in the end. I honestly think that every person in the world should lose their job at least once to know what it's like to be out there, because it'll make you extremely brave. And sometimes you need that bravery to move forward as a person.
And also it just stops you from growing as well, because when you get in that comfort zone of, okay, I'm making enough now, I'm getting that check,
Oh, bro,
I'm getting everything, you don't thrive for anything else. There's nothing new to work
I give you a
towards.
great example. I'm working. My boss, Tracy Clody, shout to Tracy Clody, one of the best bosses ever. Used to beat me down, but one of the best bosses ever. One of the most, you know Tracy, right? One of the most protective people for us as air staff and the brand. She'll curse us out, but if anybody come for us, she going in on it, right? I used to be so scared to air check with Tracy because she would have me like frazzled. But when you get out here and you out of the cushy situation, you don't feel like that anymore because you get braver. See where I'm coming from? Yeah. You're willing to take risks more. You're not as afraid of, am I going to lose this job?
You got nothing to lose. That's it. It's only up from there.
You understand? Yeah. This is such a blessing. I'm looking at this. They don't even know I'm over here, and they playing all those songs.
Yeah.
I'm extremely blessed. The thing about me is that Little John has bigger records than me. So he's got Lovers and Friends. He's got Turned Down for What, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that keeps me going is I have an aggregate amount of songs. So of course you got Drop, which is a big song of mine. You got, of course, Be Faithful. You got Mariah. You got Sean Paul, Get Busy, right? But then it's all of those other songs that are remixes.
You got Janet Jackson. You got
Janet Jackson. Yeah. People put this here. They put this here. They put this here. And it's the cumulative amount of songs that I have to keep me working. Like Little John has 10 records that are absolute smashes that keep him working. I might have 3, but it's all of the other songs that keep me working.
They position you much better as well. Yeah.
So when I hear that,
we just gotta just keep the silence and just let it just.
Here's the thing. You will hear my voice in the club. That's why I call myself the undisputed voice in the club, because I have one huge record, but you'll definitely hear my voice in the club at least 3 or 4 times. Period.
That's nuts, bro. Why do you think that the UK warmed to you so much? Because in the UK warmed to you a lot. Yes. There was a lot of respect. Why do you think you, more than anyone else that was doing the same kind of thing?
I think it's because, honestly, I am humble, and I walk in knowing I'm a foreigner, and I deal with the people. I don't think I'm better than, I walk with the people. So I give you a great example. I was on a TV show in England called Celebrity Big Brother. And so the whole purpose of Celebrity Big Brother is to make you look terrible.
Bad as hell,
It's really to destroy.
To set you up,
It's to set you up and destroy you. There are only 2 people that have come out of that show better off than when they left. They told me, myself and a dude named Callum Best.
Yeah.
George Best's son.
Yeah.
Shout to Callum Best. What's happening, bro? We the only 2 people that came out of there better than when we walked in. because I live by certain principles. Whatever I do is what I'm going to do in your face. I stick by my morals and my principles. I don't care about TV time, nothing. So they were trying to get me to do things.
They were leaving little crumbs that were just trying to get you to set up and do something wrong.
Do something that's not in my thing. And I told them, I don't, listen, if I got to leave now, I'll leave now. I'm good. Yeah. I would never go through that process again unless they paid me $2 or $3 million. Because emotionally, Celebrity Big Brother will mess with your head. They have 20 psychiatrists on the show that watch you every day.
Wow.
Also, they know what to do with you.
Yeah, they have meetings set up before saying, show us ways where we can get the worst out of these people. But
here's the thing. Because they watch you, they know who you are. So the thing that I learned from Celebrity Big Brother is you can't hide who you are. You can put a mask on for a little while, but you can never hide who you really are. They know who you are. They take your weaknesses and they try to use them against you. I'll give you a great example. They had kicked Jenna Jameson and Farrah from 18 and Pregnant. They were both on the show with me. They had kicked both of them out, right? So I'm laying on the bed. Everybody is up there saying, the Wicked Witch of the West, they going, talking a bunch of junk. And I said, listen, let me explain something to you. They never did nothing to me, so don't ever talk about them in my face. You can do whatever you want, but in my presence, don't disrespect them because they never did nothing to me. Unbeknownst to all of us, they never kicked them out. They were in the back watching.
Wow.
And they came back. They love me. Like, people love me because of that. Yeah. And they asked me why I did that. I said, because if you do that in Harlem, where I'm from, you get killed for that. Yeah. We don't do that. Yeah. And I think that the British viewer and all of UK, I think they saw who I really was. And man, when I walked out of that place, when I tell you that mums all over the UK, man, I had love like you ain't never seen in your life, man, because I was me. I'm not going to be something that I'm not, period.
Do you feel like that what you did with your career at the time can be done again now? Or do you think that the times have just changed in a way that it's not going to work now?
You can't do it the way you used to. Yeah. Here's why. When we were doing it, there was Def Jam, BET, MTV, VH1. Now, everybody has a phone. The attention is so scattered that, like, when we used to put out a record, if it got to the top, everybody heard it. You only had a couple of places to go get your content. Now, it's so spread. There's rappers that got hit records. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Because they just don't know. So, I'm happy that I came up in that era. Number two is, and I don't want to sound like an old man because, what's happening, bro? You good? Wallaby Clarks. I want to say this. And this is not any disrespect to new artists. It's just the truth. The quality of music has gone way down.
It's easier to make.
But now it's not even easier to make. It's they making it easier.
Yeah.
So there is Biggie Smalls, God bless the dead, and Jay-Z started going in the booth and doing it off the top of their head. You have to be a certain type of fucking genius to do that. Yeah. Everybody can't just go in there and do it. When I came up in this business, Big Daddy Kane is here today. That's his DJ right there. Big Daddy Kane is, without a doubt, either 1, 2, or 3 of the best people who ever grabbed the mic ever. It's not up for debate. Rakim, Cool G Rap, Kane. You can put them in any, you can switch them around in any
order.
Any order, but the 3 of them, that's it. Then we get to all the other people, right? Those people went and wrote it down. Rakim wrote his rhymes down and then went to the studio. We didn't come in and say, On the other hand, you can do that and it can work. I was in the studio interviewing Sierra. for my radio show. I'm sitting in the studio. At the time, it wasn't a Rodecaster. It was a little DAT machine.
Yeah.
But same concept, right? So I'm sitting on the floor with her, and I'm in Indian style. I'm interviewing her. I get up, and because she said, I cannot come to Hot 97 because you do overnights. I got something to do. If you meet me at the studio, we could do this. I said, okay, cool. Interview her for 45 minutes. I get up. I'm walking out the door, and they're getting ready to make the song. And as I'm walking out the door, the engineer hits the song, and it goes, music make you lose control, music make you lose control. And what I'm doing as I'm walking out, I'm just walking out like, let's go. Here we go now, here we go now. And I'm walking out the door. Jay Brown, who works for Rock Nation now, he was the A&R for Missy. And he said, go back in there and do it. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, do exactly what you were doing. I said, yo, bro, I go home and write these records. He said, man, why don't you do it? I said, yo, bro, didn't I just tell you I don't do this? So now me and him up in each other's face arguing. He says to me, man, just go do it once. I went in there and I did it one time. And that's what Lose Control was.
And that's what we know now.
So, if you listen to the end of Lose Control, you'll hear me go, here we go now, here we go now, here we go now, let's go.
He wasn't prepared.
Let's bring it back now, because I had only done it one time. So what you hear on that is a one-time thing. But that was God's hand. I will sit down and think about what I do before I put it on tape.
Sometimes the best things just come out like that by accident. Bro.
I do believe this, and I learned this from R. Kelly. The first thing that you do is the right thing. If you got to think about it 2 or 3 times, it's no good. Move to the next record.
Dude, I've experienced that with so many people in the studio before. There's some people that will come in there and they're in and out within 15, 20 minutes, an hour max. And then there's other artists, like I've come back in and it's like 7 hours later and they still haven't laid down a verse. And I'm like, what are you doing?
If I can't
Who's paying
get it,
for the studio time that you're wasting?
If I can't get it in the first couple of seconds, I'm off it. So what I do now is when I'm listening to songs, my DJ gives me songs, because I do my radio show, shout out to Full Throttle Radio, my syndicated show with DJ Mr. Vince. He'll give me songs. I keep my recorder right here, and I just turn my recorder on, and I listen to the song. If it's hitting me, boom, and I'll just go like this as I'm going with this, like this. Then I'll stop, I'll do it again, If I don't feel it, I put it down.
Also, as well, with a lot of these things, if you're having to spend that long to get down to 16, then you must be pretending. Like, you must not mean what you're saying because it's not natural to you, right?
It's not the song.
It
don't hit you. So Beyonce got a song called My House right now. When I listened to the song initially, I was just like, nah. But I listened to the song all the way through. She had a break, and the break was everything that I'm about. Boom. But if I listen to a song and it's not my song, I walk away because it's not my song.
It's got to be organic. You can't force it.
Got to be organic.
And that also applies for when artists are so feature thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas you could tell when an artist has really vibed with somebody and put a record together. And truth be told, a lot of labels, they'll push it. They'll push collabos, which sometimes they'll make sense on paper, but they're not making sense.
Well, I'm going to say this. There's a general rule that I think every artist should follow. Do collaborations with artists in your scale, in your area.
Your bracket,
If you have to beg that artist to do anything, don't do it. Because here's the thing. You could do a song with somebody and pay an ass ton of money. But if they're not going to post it, if they're not going to promote it, if they're not going to do nothing, then what is it for you? It's
100%. I had the same issue, the same conversation I said where they were like, do you pay your guests? I was like, no. They were like, you should, maybe some people, big ones, you should pay them. I was like, listen, if they don't want to do it, the conversation's not going to be real. You're going to tell, even in the conversation, that something's not real here. Like, they're doing it for...
I look at that 2 ways. If you want to compensate somebody for their time, cool. but I feel like if you're gonna come on, have something to say.
Yeah.
And if you don't have nothing to say, then don't come on.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I have been on the radio for 28 years, so I could talk. We could do this podcast for 10 hours, and I could just sit
Get
here
some
and talk.
chairs for the people here. We're gonna be here for 10 hours, guys. So get comfy.
We're not gonna be
Indian style, get down.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here for 10 hours. But what I'm saying
Yeah,
is that
100%.
I am blessed to be able to talk. Some people can't talk. If you know who you are, stay within your limits.
100%.
Yo, Scoop, man. I mean, you said it all, bro.
Yo, bro, I'm still getting over the energy. Like, as soon as this finishes, I'm going and tackling someone. I'm just hyped, bro.
Yeah, but you know something, brother, it's just come from the love of it.
Yeah.
So let me explain something to you, and anybody who's listening and the people here, please pay attention to this. Whatever you're doing now, you might be doing something that you don't like to do. You may be doing something that you have to go and punch in at 9 and punch out at 5. That's cool. But here's the thing. Instead of watching Netflix, when you get home, go home and pick the thing you love to do. So here's the question you ask yourself. If I could get up and do anything in the world, what would I do? And what would I do just because for free? And then you go home and you work on that. And you work on that enough, you're gonna get there. If you study on and work on something 18 minutes a day, it is a fact that in a year or two, you will become one of the top 1% at what you're doing. Here's the thing. So many of us do something that we really don't want to do. I have so much energy because this shit ain't work. So what you gonna tell me? I'm gonna sit down here, I'm gonna talk anyway, so I'm gonna talk and do what I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna go get on the stage. I love doing that. How am I losing?
Yeah.
I fly 12, 15 hours to Dubai. There's people working real jobs. Sanitation men. This ain't nothing. But it's not work to me because I actually love it.
Yo, we interviewing this fly as well. What's going on, bro? Get it, bro. We're gonna get it, bro. No, yeah, 100% understand. Like, so I come from a martial arts background, and they always say, be careful of the person who's practiced one kick 1,000 times instead of 1,000 kicks.
Yup.
Because that's the one.
That's the one that get your ass.
That's the one that'll get you,
That's the one
bro.
that get your ass.
100%, bro.
That's the one that get your ass.
Yo, Scoop, man. I mean, thank you, bro.
Bro,
It's been a long time coming, man.
Yup.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And we stumbled into this. We here now. Though.
We're here now.
And listen, if I don't get out of here
For this
you're gonna
flight,
have to give
that
me
flight.
an old school piece of paper bodega
Yeah.
style.
We got an electric tennis racket somewhere here. We need it.
Yeah.
Scoop, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
We're humbled to have you here with us, and thank you for taking out the time, man.
No problem.
My
I'm gonna
brother.
speak to that DJ right
Let's do it. Boom.
Jabber.